Kia ora and welcome to today's video. This is my go-to glam makeup featuring neutral bronzy eyes with a bit of sparkle and a nude lippy as well. So if you'd like to see how I get this look, then feel free to keep on watching. Please excuse the baby dribble on my shoulder, but anyway, starting off with primer. This one is Vitamin C Boost from the Body Shop. Just one pump of that and smoothing it all over the face. Some Mango Ballistics lip balm to keep those lips hydrated, and we're moving on to brows. I'm using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in dark brown and just a flat angled brush to fill those in. And using my brow spoolie to brush through the hairs and making sure that product isn't too harsh looking. Next up we have concealer to carve out and define the brows. I'm using the one by the collection. You can just get it from Countdown. It's so good, it's so cheap. And just applying that with a flat angled concealer brush. So using that concealer to really define and carve out the brows, but I'm also blending it downward over the lids to use as a base for our eyeshadow. Some Revlon Colour Stay powder to set that concealer. Now these are my fave eyeshadows. It's the Stila Eyes of the Windows eyeshadow palette. As you can see, it's very well loved, very well used. With this large fluffy blending brush, I'm going to take that medium brown eyeshadow, blend it through the outer corner of my eye and right through the crease. Taking a smaller blending brush and that darker chocolate brown, I'm focusing that more into the outer corner of my eye and not blending it as far out as I took that first shade. So that is deepening the eye, adding a bit more definition. I guess ultimately it's like contouring for your eyelids. Now this can take a bit of time, as you can see, just going back and forth, round and round with your blending brush, but all the blending is definitely worth it because you want to make sure that the eyeshadows are nicely melted into one another and just blending seamlessly across your eyelid. And grabbing onto that larger blending brush again just to further blend the medium brown and chocolate brown together. Now taking a small detailer brush, I'm tapping lightly into the black eyeshadow, tapping off the excess and focusing that right into the outer corner of our eye and just dabbing very softly, taking the medium blending brush to blend the black into the chocolate brown and just softening that black eyeshadow through the crease. Okay, just a side note, it's very easy to overdo it with black eyeshadow, so make sure you're only using a tiny little bit at a time. Okay, on a flat angle brush, we're going to take that chocolate brown and line that along the lower lash line, and that's just going to further define the eye. And I'm blending it up into the crease shadows just so that it connects up and blends nicely. Next we're using the Photo Ready Eye Art from Revlon, cream on one side, glitter on the other. First taking the cream shadow a bit on the back of my hand and just applying with a flat eyeshadow brush, making sure to work quickly and blend quickly because this is a liquid product but it dries as soon as it's blended out onto the eye. So making sure that I blend very quickly and apply the product evenly across the lids. You can see here it's completely dry. Just taking a bit more of that medium brown to blend the crease with that base we have just applied. And doing the exact same thing with the glitter side, using the same brush. I've popped a bit on the back of my hand and I'm just picking it up little by little and just patting the glitter across that cream base that I laid down. Now the glitter product doesn't dry as fast as the cream, so looking down and letting it dry, because if you look up, the glitter will transfer all over the top of your eyes. So while I'm looking down, letting it dry, I thought I'd move on to my liquid liner. And taking a deep breath in, because I always hold my breath while I'm doing my liner. I feel it just keeps myself really steady. If you can see what I'm doing, I'm just lining my eyes, kind of doing it in small dashes rather than drawing the eyeliner on in one long line. Flicking the liner up at the outer corners of my eye, just giving myself just a small wing, nothing too dramatic. The liquid liner I use is the Revlon Color Stay Skinny. It's so good, honestly. And this step I'm using the Revlon Color Stay Crayon Liner just to line my waterline, gently pulling down on it, and just smoothing it along that waterline. Next step, mascara. The one I'm using is the Lancome Grandiose, and just applying that generously to my top and bottom lashes. Next step, taking the shimmery shadow from my Stila palette on a pencil brush, I'm going to add that as a highlight to the inner corners of my eyes and to highlight the brow bone as well. And here I am looking to the side because I've just noticed my neighbour looking at me through the window. Right, moving on to face. I'm using the MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation and my Exo Beauty flat top kabuki brush to blend it all over, making sure I'm getting an even coverage and blending into the hairline as well. And using the same concealer that I used around my brows, I'm adding that to my under eye area to add some extra coverage and brightness as well. And taking the product that's left on my brush just down the bridge of my nose, a little bit on my forehead and chin as well. Some Revlon Colour Stay powder just dusted all over to set that foundation and concealer in place. Next up, I'm doing just a natural contour, nothing too intense, using the Too Faced chocolate bronzer and a small fluffy face brush, focusing that around the cheekbones and blending up, and taking it into the hairline and around the temples as well. For highlighter today, I'm using Mary Luminizer by The Balm and a small fan brush, and applying that generously to the tops of my cheekbones. And then adding a little bit down the bridge of my nose, the tip of my nose, and a little bit on the Cupid's bow area of my lip as well. Using the NYX Dusty Rose powder blush, just adding that to the very fronts of my cheeks and basically using it to add that natural pink flush back to the cheeks and blending the contour and highlight together. Next up, Lippy, my favourite nude, which is Half and Half by MAC. And finishing the look with some Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. Make sure you don't breathe in, otherwise you'll choke like I did here. And here we have the finished look. I really love these colours, I feel like they really suit me. Just the neutral browns and nude tones, and that little bit of glitter on the eye just adds, you know, something a little bit special, a little bit of fun. And if you like the style and the colour of my hair, make sure you check out next week's videos. I'm doing Vlogtober, so that is a new video every Monday, Wednesday and Friday of this month. I hope you enjoyed my video. Take care, ka kite anō.